content disposition or type or that bad attachment name starting, just drops the connection, gives you a 500 back. A few of them did get through, and none of them were renderable in Gmail email client itself, but the people who popped their email back off Gmail, then you could get them like that. I've got a friend who works for Google though, so I've told him about them and he'll patch them. And all the techniques I have discussed today, all the holes I found in all the vendors' products, they were notified about this about a month ago. And I won't be releasing my test cases into the wild unless someone specifically wants them. If any of the vendors here that I didn't test want them, then just let me know. I'd like to try out Hotmail and Yahoo. I tried Hotmail, but they didn't like my IP address. They said I was blacklisted or something. Kept dropping my messages. And Message Labs, they're an interesting one because they've got that 100% non-detectable virus sort of thing going on, and that they'll give you your money back if you get some malicious code in your inbox. So, is anyone here from Message Labs? Or does anyone here use Message Labs as an email provider? No? I'll be interested to try it and see if any of these malformed attachments come through. And I could always add my test cases to Metasploit or Canvas or something. Probably won't do that though. Who knows? Okay, so the white paper is available there on my website, research.mints.ac.nz, and go forth and test your products.
Are these test cases you developed online? Because I'd like to test that against my setups, not using any of the commercial products, but it would be very nice to know. I
haven't put them online because that just gives easy access for the script kiddies or the Storm Crew or something to just grab them, and it's already pre-cooked for them. Even though all these techniques are detailed back in 2002 and it's in Zeraz's white paper, I haven't released them out in the public. I make them work for their 0-day.
Would you distribute, send that if I send you an email?
Yeah, if you flick me an email and I think you're not going to be using them for bad purposes,
no,
and
I don't.
Have a look at the white paper as well, because it,
fine. Thanks.
And beat your vendor up. Yeah.
Hey, were there any test cases that got through all of the vendors' filtering? Was there anything that you found that bypassed everything?
I think, and there was pretty much, and always there was one case where at least one vendor would pick it up.
Right.
Because I use eight vendors, at least one case where there'd always be one vendor that picked it up. But in that case, if I did have a case where it went through all, it probably isn't going to be renderable in all the email clients. True. Yeah, but that's why you use a magic email with like multiple bad attachments on it. Yeah.
And it'll get.
Or you can use SMTP scan as well, which is some dudes from Grey Hat Security to fingerprint their mail server, so you work out what it is, send an email through, get a bounce back from Notes, then you know they're using Notes, get a bounce back from Exchange, you know they're using Outlook, and then use that as your vector.
Like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any more questions? Do you really think that some of these vendors are actually listening the security community? Because if people like Symantec were listening the security community, I think we would have figured out for quite some time now. My question is more, is their customers actually listening to the security community? Because when I look at the Symantec customer base, it's huge. And obviously these people, because I think their products are pretty crap, but they keep selling and selling and selling around, and for years. And like what we see with Microsoft, unless the client really get pissed off by the product, they won't change their way of selling the product.
Too many people take this stuff for granted. They just think because on their vendor's website it says 100% secure or no viruses, that it's going to do that. That's why you get people, employ them within your teams to go and do this research, send them off to hacker conferences like this one, computer security conferences. You need to have a person, at least one or two in your team, doing this kind of stuff, beating up your vendors, making sure. But you are right that the majority of the cases, your clients, they don't know what's going on, and they just blindly believe what you say and what your salesmen say to them.
Yeah, but it's... Yeah, going to conferences is great, but here in that room, I think we most IT security practitioners, hackers, and blah blah blah, and we all convinced on this fact. So we just keep talking among each other. Yeah. And the question is, when is the information is getting out of this? So maybe we're not targeting the right crowd when we're just presenting our results, and me including, and my work as well. I mean,
What I'll do when I get back to New Zealand is run an overview of all the presentations that I've been to here, and invite all of my staff on my floor, even if they're not security, even if they don't know anything about it, and try and disseminate that knowledge across everyone. And that's what each of you need to do when you go back to your place of work. Give a rundown of this conference and say, hey, this is what went down, these are some different things to think about, because a lot of things talked about at this conference are applicable in everyday life, like the e-voting talks and the healthcare e-health talk. Yeah, it's up to us as well to help spread this knowledge and the word. And it's kind of hard to get people as enthused about security as we are a lot of the time, but yeah. Good question though. Anyone else? Yep.
That's fine to contact all the companies, but how would you contact the home users?
Well, it's up to the companies to protect the home users. It's not up to me to tell all the home users. Yeah.
Yeah, but by the use of their clients.
Yeah, the clients, I can see. So Microsoft shouldn't be rendering these malformed attachments. So, but then like what I said before, they've probably done it over a series of years ago to deal with some buggy email client or malformed emails. So I don't see it as the people who write email clients' fault. I see it as the email vendors' fault. Yeah. Thanks for letting me borrow your laptop too. All right.
If there aren't any more questions, I have to thank you for speaking here.